In 1939, a year after Britain declared war on Germany, Canada as an independent country decided to enter World War II. As a result, victory bonds and propaganda became prominent once again. Victory bonds were a way of helping Canada's economy during war times. Victory bonds were usually directed towards elderly members of society. Shortly after Canada entered World War II, total war began taking effect. All resources were used towards war causes. This was decided in hopes to further Canada's economy. Businesses were to make firearms, bombs, and other weapons during this time. This was all supervised by C.D. Howe. A significant difference between World War I and World War II was the development and usage of technology. Inventions such as radars, rockets, and medication were put to use. In World War II, women played a greater role in society. For instance, clerks, nurses, and mechanics were a few of the occupations women could have. Some helped in the Air Force, though they were not allowed to fly planes in combat. Others were still expected to ration or work in factories while their husbands were away at war. Enlistment was similar to World War I. In the beginning, rates of enlistment were high, but as time passed, enlistment decreased. This led up to the enforcement of conscription once again. Enlistment from Quebec was encouraged, though in the past rates of enlistment were low. A brilliant pilot from Quebec, George Berlin, helped in the Air Force during World War II. There were promises of no conscription that were broken. When conscription was in effect, it proceeded in the same fashion as in World War I. Dieppe was a battle that occurred before D-Day at Normandy. This particular battle lasted 9 hours with very high rates in casualties. Some soldiers were held hostage, and others were injured. D-Day was a battle that was located in northern France on a beach. Operation Overlord was called into order. This was because the Allies were plotting to invade Europe. They were known to have impressive navy and air force. During the Holocaust, the Nazis killed off several million people they thought were inferior, such as the Jewish people. The SS Lewis carried many Jewish refugees to Canada, where their refugee status was denied because Canada did not want further conflict. Japanese internment occurred in 1942. This happened after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Many Canadians of Japanese descent and Japanese immigrants were relocated and separated. Their properties and belongings were taken away from them. This was because they were believed to be spies for the Germans. The Royal Canadian Air Force. A significant number of Canadians joined the RCAF, though while serving, many soldiers died in this particular service. The RCAF mainly performed bombing raids in various parts of Europe, with the help of their allies. The Royal Canadian Navy. Canada alongside the United States were mainly relied on to supply resources, since the British Navy was impressively developed. In conclusion, World War II ended in the summer of 1945, after the bombing at Hiroshima.